Chef Ashish Tiwari, the executive chef at Crowne Plaza, New Delhi, Rohini, is joining us on the Zista podcast and talking to us about how you can succeed in the culinary space. Welcome to the Zista podcast, where we invite industry leaders and academicians to answer questions that students have within a particular subject area. Today, we're focusing on culinary arts, and I'm delighted to say that we're being joined by Chef Ashish Tiwari. He's worked his way through the industry, worked with fantastic hospitality brands, worked in India as well as abroad, and he's currently the executive chef at Crowne Plaza, New Delhi, Rohini. Let's go straight into the session. Welcome to the podcast, Chef. Absolutely delighted that you're joining us here today.
I'm quite excited for this. Thank you very much, Amit, for inviting me.
Fantastic. I wanted to ask you, Chef, you began your journey way back in 2004. You graduated from IHM Lucknow. And, I see that you've really worked your way up in your career. So in 2005, you took up a job in the kitchen. You progressed over the years to become an executive sous chef and now finally an executive chef. So my question is, what inspired you? You clearly have a love for the industry, but what has really helped you reach the position that you are in now?
I would like to be telling you all the truth, no drama, no stories, and all that. When I was studying in hotel management, IHM Lucknow, that was one of the best college. So, I was inclined more towards F&B service.
Okay.
So, first 2 years I was not able to decide that where I have to go. I have to make my career. But yes, both these two were very good for me. I was very excited. I used to pay a lot of attention in small things. What was taught to us in F&B service and kitchen both. Slowly and gradually during my third year, I thought that kitchen would be more good for me because I learned that in a way that if you are a very hardworking guy, so, if you know how to do hard work for your entire life, you will definitely excel in kitchen. So that was the thing which I thought that hard work will definitely pay off, and from there, I decided that let me start my career in kitchen only. But again, I would say both were good. Only the reason why I choose was that I think that kitchen requires more of hard work, and I was ready to do it for my entire life, and so I was inclined towards it, and I thought that let me make my career in kitchen. So that is all.
All right. So you weren't shying away from hard work, and you said, okay, let's build a career in the kitchen. But obviously, it's not an environment where people can last if they're not passionate or they don't have genuine love for the industry or love for what they're doing. So would you say that has served you well, has allowed you to stay back and do well?
See, for me, it is not that. I would not say from my kid I wanted to become a chef and all that. I was very inclined towards ingredients, fire, and all that. I'm sorry, I'm not that person. I was very much inclined to become an engineer. But due to I have appeared for many of colleges and all that, but couple of them I could not qualify, and couple of them their results were delayed due to certain reasons of government issues and all the reservations and all that. So in the meantime, I opted for hotel management also. So somebody from my dad's friend circle, they told my dad that please do that also because there's a word known as hotel management. So once you finish the hotel management, you will become a manager. बच्चा खत्म करते ही manager बन जाएगा. So that was the thing which initially was told to me. So I would say it is not right because that time, if I talk about 20 years back, people were not aware about the hotel management and all that. It was still in a booming stage. So what I feel and what I thought is that if you are doing anything, so I thought, okay, I have devoted my 3 years into this hotel management course. If I want to follow this hotel industry and I want to make my career, then I cannot be a mediocre. So that was the time when I decided, okay, if I have to do this, I have to go on doing again and again. And a lot of hard work, efforts, and everything would be required, and I will do that. So that was the thing which I decided in my mind. If I have now chosen a hotel management, so I have to shine into it. I have to climb the ladder on the top. So that was the only thing. That was the only motivating factor for me. Yes, if you talk about that me being in a kitchen, I have adapted very well. I
Yep.
love to play with I love to play with fire. I love the atmosphere when there is a lot of heat, there is a lot of urgency in delivering the orders. So I love to deliver things in a quickest and a fastest pace. So that was the thing which I slowly and gradually realized that it is a good field for me. So that is how I would say it is a more about adaptability, and I have adapted it very well, and till now it is lasting.
Fantastic. Good to hear that. So important to adapt and so important to completely embrace the environment that you're in. If you were not comfortable with, say, the heat, if you weren't comfortable with the pace of work, it would have bothered you and perhaps, made you change, but you stuck it out. You wanted to climb the ladder, you wanted to succeed. And I think it is those abilities that have really helped you to forge ahead. So that's fantastic, Chef. Really nice to hear that. Okay. So, if you were to think back at your career, right, and if you were to think of what are some of the things that you did or perhaps didn't do, which really helped you move all the way from, say, a simple cook in the kitchen to being an executive chef, what are some of those milestone moments or maybe some of those traits that really helped you to reach the position that you're in?
So I tell you, for an example, I started my career with management trainee, being as a management trainee with RKHS. My first job was on the cruise line. So cruise line is very different. What we are working today, the speed we can't even imagine sitting over here.
Wow.
The speed by which team is working, because they have to deliver the food for 4,500 people, and everyone is going to eat. Nobody is going to starve on the ship, cruise ship. So that is the thing. So how it started that when I went from India to US and all that cruise. So for me, I was a kid only, and my family supported into that. But again, there was lots and lots of emotions that I was the only kid and moving abroad, very far from my home and all that. So that time I realized and I decided in my mind that if I am doing so much of sacrifice and my family is sacrificing a lot of things, so there should be a good result of it. So first thing I have decided that. Secondary, what I feel that what best I have done was that in any profession, anything, work is done by everyone. I would say
Right.
it is a carpenter, it is an engineer, it is a doctor. Anything is done by everyone, performed. Only thing is that we as an student, or we as an intern, or we as an junior level, we have to see that how that task, how that work is done efficiently, and what is the best way to do it. Out of 100, two you can grab that, okay, to chop an onion or to make this sauce, or even to stack a trolley for your store. So there are thousands of ways, but you have to pick up the best. So what I did, from there, I started absorbing things, and I decided that in my mind that what will be the best for me, I will take only that. Whatever is not best for me, I will not even dare to taste, see that, or I will not follow that. So that was the one thing which I have started doing it. Then third, what I have faced and what I have seen, that when I was on cruise and all this, so there were a lot of nationality peoples and there was a lot of racism and all that. So I have not put attentions over there and all that. So I keep on learning. I would like to share a best part which till today also I follow in my life, is that I have an Italian chef, Michele Cosli. He was the executive chef of one of the cruise ship. So I was a part of the two opening new sister ships, Imrald and Crowne. So I was a lucky guy who was working on a two opening of new ships. So he taught me one thing in my appraisals, that see, Ashish, you don't have to see what is happening wrong. You have to only see what is happening right. You don't have to argue with anyone. He gave me a very good example. See, I'm an executive chef now. I started my career 20 years back, that you should always praise people. You should take out the best from them. You should not have argument. You should not have fights and all that. You should just concentrate on your work, praise that person. And because our final objective is what? We have to move on the ladder. And I moved on the ladder. So I have keep on doing that.
Amazing. Hearing you speak, Chef, it's really clear that you have inculcated an excellence mindset, a mindset where you're really trying to be the best and seek the best from any task that is given to you, but also from any mentor, any leader. In fact, this is a perfect chance for us to move to the next point in our conversation, which is focusing on mentorship. So, looking back at your career, have you been fortunate to have a mentor or receive mentorship? Do you think mentorship is really essential, if you want to succeed in the culinary line?
Yeah, I would definitely say it depends. See, again, I would say it depends upon a person to person. For example, just gave you an example of Chef Michele Posli, who was my first boss, I would say. Italian person, but he has a very good name in the cruise industry and all that. For example, I have worked with Chef Ranveer Brar. He used to be my executive chef, the celebrity chef. So mentorship is definitely a most important thing in today's industry. It in any industry if you are, because for you, if you ask me today and you say that you have to mentor someone about the hotel industry and all that, so of course I can tell you lot and lots of things which I think people will not be even ready to listen. That they will say, no, I'm very much passionate about this, I'm very much passionate about this, but I'm sorry, to be passionate about something and to make that as a career is very very different. Today what happens, people are mixing it. So I would definitely say, again, I will emphasize that you or we, anyone in this field who want to pursue anything, because on every stage you seek people who can help you out to come up. You want people who can tell you that what is right, what is wrong, what can be my next move. So I think there were a lot of people who have mentored me, and I would definitely say that mentorship is required.
Thank you. Thank you for answering that, Chef. Coming to say skills and traits that you would feel are absolutely necessary for success in the culinary industry. If you could think about this and comment on it, what would you say?
First of all, I would definitely like to focus on that and tell everyone that nobody born up with skill and trades. Nobody is born up with that.
Right.
So we have to inculcate that. We have to learn that from. We have to learn that from our surrounding. We have to learn from industry where we are working, hotel which where we are working, restaurant where we are working. Now, if I talk about trades and all that, so see, in every field there are people who are mediocre and who are above average and who are on the top of the ladder. To reach on that, you should have to have a different set of mind. You should have that eagerness. If I talk about especially in kitchen and all that, you should have an eagerness to learn. Every day you are coming, you are making an omelette or you are making an murg makhni, butter chicken. So that is not the end of the world. First of all, you have to master that, but you should be eager to learn new things. You should be eager that what new can be done. Okay, for example, if I'm very good in X, how can I be better in Y? In trades, that I would again point it out is that eagerness should be there. You should have a good learning sort of skill and learning set of mind. So you have to respect and you have to understand that if somebody is telling by that experience, you have to listen that and follow that. At least follow that for couple of days, couple of months, and then see if you're getting a good result and all that. If I talk about one thing which is very important, see, now if I talk about in a generic, there was a time, I think 20, 30 years back, when kitchen industry or chefs, they don't used to think that chefs are very, very brilliant from the brain. But I will definitely say and focus on that, it is not right. So chef has to be very brilliant, very sharp from the brain. He has to have 10 eyes from here and there, seeing, watching. So for example, if I'm sitting in my office, I should be aware that what is happening in the banquet kitchen, what is happening in my specialty restaurant, what is happening in the bar, or how much production is being done. So you need to have an which is called as eye for detail. You should quick response with other things. It's not that if there is any problem or you have to decide something, then you take ages for that. These are the traits which is very much required for, especially if you want to excel in chef's career. And
Wonderful. So, eagerness to learn, having that learning mindset, thinking on your feet, and also having an eye for detail. I think you've really made some good points here, Chef. Thank you for commenting on that particular question. Now, coming to working in a high pressure kitchen environment, do you think that there are some people who might find it challenging? Are there some challenges that people should be aware of? What can they do to better cope with that? What can they do to actually progress further up the career ladder? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
see, I would definitely like to say that kitchen as an industry, kitchen as an area in hotel, it is very much pressurized if I talk about, because for example, you are paying $1,000 for a particular dish and you are sitting in a five-star hotel, you're not going to wait more than for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. You're not going to compromise with the same stuff. You're going to say that I am going to get 300 bucks somewhere else and I'm paying 1,000 three times and I want the quality and all that. So pressure is always there, but before entering into kitchen and all that, you should understand that how you are able to perform in that pressure.
Hmm.
So for me, if I talk about how to perform in the pressure, the best thing is that you should be prepared for the worst. I would say you should be prepared with your misas, you should be prepared with your things, you should be prepared with your equipments, you should be prepared with your entire checklist. So in kitchen, if you're prepared with lot of things, I am sure that 80% of your pressure and everything will be neglected, will be less. If you're preparing a dish, grilled chicken with mashed potato and all that, but you don't have a mashed potato, so the guest has ordered, so of course you will be in pressure and your entire team will be pressure because chef is going to give you pressure because I need that stuff in 20 minutes. If I talk about in a real scenario, in a real kitchen module, so see, in kitchen pressure is there, but you have to be calm, you have to be positive. There is a pressure, it is not just because of you, it is because of that industry, it demands a little bit of pressure. You should be quick, you should be quick. If you are very lethargic and all that, so I'm sorry, to switch on the gas also, there will be pressure that baba jaldi karo yaar. So 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 that is the thing. Pressure will be there, but you should know how to deliver it also in the pressure. If you are a batsman also, you have to chase 12 runs in a over, there is also pressure. There can be a duck over or there can be 36 runs also. So it depends that how good you are as a batsman, how good you are as a chef, as a player. And if you play well, so I think from my entire career only, from starting only, and that is the thing which gives me a lot of energy, I would say, because when I see pressure, I'm not afraid about the pressure. Aane do pressure, koi baat nahi, we'll manage it. So
All
that's the
right,
thing.
let the pressure come. Bring it on. I'm here to handle it.
Yes,
And
that
staying calm and in that pressurized environment and thinking on your feet, a skill that you talked about earlier as well. I think it's really important because I can imagine that stress is part of the job because of the high pressure environment. But if you enjoy doing what you're doing, you've developed the skill and expertise to perform fast. It means you can only do something well if you do it well, right? I mean, you can only perform fast if you do something well. So you need to
right.
do that job well to actually perform fast, deliver on time, but also deliver a certain quality, which is, of course, the expectation.
I would like to also add one more thing, planning, which is the word is used more. The planning in kitchen should be the topmost. Planning is very important. See, I tell you, for an example, I have to cut 600 kgs of avocado. 600 kg, not one avocado, 600 kgs of avocado if I have to cut and peel that. So placing of my food pans, or there is a avocado seed and avocado ball which I have to take it out. So how I am going to take it out and where I am going to put it, because I have to move my hand. So in 600 kgs, if I keep that food pan where I am going to keep the seeds and all that, so each fraction of second multiplied by 600 will save my 10 minutes. So in that way, you have to think that how you have organized your kitchen, how you have planned surrounding things of you, so that you deliver best. So for sure, pressure will be less.
Awesome.
So I would say organizing and planning is also a very important thing into that.
Yes, absolutely. I can totally imagine that. Chef, I had one more question for you, please. Now, it was in terms of the different types of specializations that someone can pursue in the culinary field. So, how will a student choose which is the correct pathway or the specialization, for that student based on his or her skills? How does a student actually come to that point?
So what I have seen in the industry and the trend is that boys they are more inclined towards hot, and girls they are more inclined towards bakery, which is cold. But
Okay.
I would definitely say that this should not be the thing. You should be choosing that section and that areas where you are very much comfortable, where you think that you can work for at least 20 years.
Right.
Students and people they are coming, they're not thinking on a longer run, but I would definitely suggest everyone, whoever is thinking that I want to make my career in bakery, I want to make my career in conti section, Indian section and Chinese section, they need to understand that are they suitable for it, are they fit for it. For an example, I tell you, if you put me in Garde Manger is again a place where there is a lot of preparation of cold stuffs like
Sure.
salads, cold cuts, and all that. So I don't like that place. For me, if you talk about, I don't like that place.
Okay.
I don't like to work in AC and all that. But for example, there's a person X. he would love to work in that place. Everyone is different, everyone body is different, personality is different, and all that. So we should think about it. If I talk about different departments and different sections in a hotel industry or a big restaurant, I would say in a five-star hotels generally, like we have a coffee shop. So in coffee shop we have a hot conti section, hot Indian section. Then we have a pantry where salads and your cold shakes, coffees, and all this cold beverages, they are juices and all that, sandwiches, they are processed into it. If we talk about bakery, then again in bakery there are a lot of sections depending upon the operation size of the hotel or the restaurant. There is a chocolate making, there is their sugar work, but generally there are basically two, pastries and bread. If I talk about a hotel which has a big banquets and all that, then again banquet has same segregation of Indian, Western, Chinese, or Asian. And then many hotels, they have their own halwai sections different. Like for us, we have a big hotel, so we have a halwai section again in a larger scale. Then in supporting, I would talk about, then there is a veg prep where there is a lot of cuttings and choppings of vegetables is happening. Butchery plays a very important role. Again, butcher chef and butchery is a different area, different sections, which is the most important or a backbone of any restaurant. So there are plenty of it. Again, I am as stated, but as depending upon your personality, you need to decide that what is your career goal in a longer run, and accordingly that you can choose it. Thing is that you have to think that it is good or bad for me. For me, for example, I have chosen that was I love to be in hot section, and hot section is good. It's not that I don't know about bakery or I have not worked in guard manager. I have worked in guard manager as well for a longer duration, but still my inclines towards is that. So as that only you have to think and decide.
Awesome. Looking at you and your personality, I'm sure when you were, in that cold section where you were dealing with salads and cold cuts, you would have done well in that section as well. Something tells
Yeah,
me. Is that right?
I have, yes,
Okay.
yes, I have done that.
Right. Awesome. Okay, Chef, just one last question. Today, a lot of students want to carve a niche for themselves. They want to really express themselves in a very creatively unique way. So, is there any advice that you can give students on how they can go about doing that, Chef?
See, I would definitely suggest each and every student who want to make their career in kitchen as a chef, is that best part is that chef is like an artist. It's you read lot of books and lot of places. I also feel that there were ages and time when 20, 30 years back it was defined that you have to put this thing over there in the plate, this thing over there. If you talk about people coming to five-star hotel also, they want home style food. Yeah, please serve me home style food. I am fed up with that butter, cream, and ghee, all that. So I would definitely say this, that if you want to make your career as a chef, first of all, you need to learn each and everything which comes in your way.
Right.
Once once you boss it up, you are on the top of it, then it will be a big playground for you wherever you want to roll your ball, whichever plating you want to do, how much experiment you want to do, how much new creativity you want to do, you can do it and you can showcase that in your plate. And your plate will speak that how much innovation you are bringing it to and how much thought you have. But for all these things, you need to slowly and gradually climb the ladder. You have to understand what are the ingredients and all that. Today, if you talk about many people, they come and I want to do a very nice plating. I want to do this. I have to do this. But I'm sorry, you have to first understand the ingredients compatibility also. Today, there are many people I see on YouTube, Instagram, they are doing rubbish things. But again, I would like to streamline this. First of all, thing you have to be familiar. You have to learn. You have to give time to yourself.
Right.
Once you give time to yourself, your experience, then the entire kitchen is your playground. And then you can start discovering, you can start innovating a lot of things, which will showcase that you are as an artist, as a chef, what you are portraying on your plate. Say this, that will be the best.
Thank you, Chef. It's important to master the craft and know all the rules before you can break them. So once you know the rules, then you know which rule perhaps you can bend a little bit, break and create something unique and different. But so true, you can't shy away from doing the time that you need to. to really get familiar with all aspects, all operations, and all the basics, in whether it's ingredients, whether it's techniques, whether it's the different workstations that you might be at. I think that you made a very, very valid point there, Chef.
You rightly said.
Chef Ashish Tiwari, thank you so much for making time and joining us on this podcast. We really enjoyed hosting you, hearing from you, and I'm sure the students who will tune in will really appreciate your inputs and the guidance that you have shared. So thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you all the viewers. Thank you, Amit.
All right. Take care. I really enjoyed interacting with Chef Ashish. He clearly laid out what we need to do to succeed in the culinary space. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube to keep getting content like that. You can also tune into our podcasts on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Our handle is the Zista Podcast. This episode has been produced by the fantastic team at Zista, which includes Dhanish Shah, Udita Arana, and Russel Aldridge. This is your host Amit Ahuja signing out. Till we meet again, stay curious.